Coming up on today's episode, IB9 extends its PSL record with a landmark goal. The under-20 side puts daylight between themselves and the Sunshine City boys. The usual suspects are back at it again as the Queens march on in the Women's Super League. And the spotlight today, we get a front row seat to the Herentals medical bench. This is the Herentals Football Show. Another week, another match day, and the senior men's PSL team was in action on Africa Day against Hwange at the National Sports Stadium. The last time Vavamburi played the coal miners was back in 2019, and they headed into the fixture with a favourable head-to-head record. As always, the expectations were high, and the boys were primed to bounce back to winning ways after a narrow defeat to Yada FC in their last match. The coach maintained his rotation policy to keep players fresh, and the students headed into what was always expected to be a stern test against one of the stubborn teams in the league. Herere were off to a flyer and had Hwange pegged in their own half in the early exchanges, with flying wingers Herentals Benza and Davison Maroa causing mayhem in attack. Chipangano were up against the ropes and were forced into an early substitution, while the Herentals bench held their breath as the lively Maroa seemed to struggle with an apparent injury. After a brief treatment, the winger was back on the field of play. A neat build-up between Godfrey Mukambi and Innocent Benza saw another dangerous attack narrowly miss the target, and a corner kick was awarded to Herentals. IB9 holds the record for being the oldest player to score in the Zimbabwean top flight, and the forward is showing no signs of slowing down. Cometh the hour, cometh the man, and he opened his season's account in fashion, sparking wild celebrations in the Herere camp. With their tails up, the students almost grabbed the second goal as Hwange found the going tough against a barrage of attack. Halftime approached with the students' family in control, but the coaching staff had observed something which was a cause for concern.
This team is now a chasing team. Right? They want to recover. They are now using more energy. They're now using more energy. So the best way to defend them, or the best way to neutralize them, is what to do what? Have possession. And also keep on attacking them.
The second half saw Chipangano come out a different side, and they rallied to score 2 goals as they frustrated the home side. The students gave their all, but ultimately had to settle for an undesired result, leaving coach Kumbira Mutweguziwa to reflect on the team's performance and map the way forward for the next game.
Yeah, a poor show. Very poor from us today. You know, when you once took the lead, then the opponent comes from behind to win the match. It's very uncharacteristic of Herentals FC. Things that we have never done in our previous seasons, but things that have just resurfaced this season. I can recall against Chicken Inn again, we once took the lead, then they also came from behind. Which today I would attribute it to the fighting spirit that Hwange was doing. They had a positive attitude, fighting for the ball, every situation, from the onset until the end. I think this made the difference today. We did not defend very well, or we are actually not defending very well this season, because we have been used to more clean sheets than now what we are doing as a team. Today normally they were slacking in defending, having allowed the opponent to penetrate them easily, using the center attack that they've been applying, which we failed to deal with, and at the same time showing some element of some fatigue throughout the game, or to the end of the game, by the defenders. That was the major problem that we have encountered, but I would say well done to Hwange for the fighting that they've done much, and we have to work very hard, us as Herentals, to try and rectify and correct all these problems that we have been, or that we are facing, or that we have faced to demo with Hwange. So I would say well done Hwange for the fight, but we have to work very hard going into the next match.
I feel like I've got a word for somebody. Life, just as we all know it, is full of emotions. Akuna gonna game 1, where in 90 minutes you can be able to fully express yourself like football.
Chance, and it's a goal! Oh, it was spectacular.
If our favorite player scores, hi, boy, jubilation. But if they miss, I'll get to shame. If the referee makes a very bad decision, we are so disheartened. If our team loses, I could go on and on and on and on. But simply put, football is 90 minutes of pure emotion.
Let your emotions run wild with the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League. Bora Redu, live on ZTN Prime.
The Herentals under-20 side flew into match day 10 against Harare City at the Morris Depot grounds, sitting a point behind their great rivals. The PSL side and some of the Herentals Queens were in attendance in solidarity with the boys. Things are heating up in the Northern Region Soccer League and nothing is to be taken for granted. The students knew that a win would provisionally shoot them to the top of the log standings. The assignment was very simple: grab maximum points against their opponents, and the stage was set for them in a frenetic first half. Throughout the season, Coach Paul's team has earned a reputation for being second-half performances, and the stage was set for another intense 45 minutes for football, and the students answered the call in spectacular fashion. In the end, Webster Dombo's wonder goal secured the 3 points, and Herentals were right back where they belong, at the summit of the log standings, and the youngster was buzzing after the win.
And I'm feeling great to go so go so I go to the team that I told us Tangaji communicators and Tangaji go to the family do I think it's
Event on a celebration, what was really going on in your mind?
I got to go to celebration of what happens at the pizza because the points, so we need those 3 points. But the trumpet team so last year of the team in top 4. So to go to the number 3 team maintain so celebration I was right. Takwira
And then, like you said, as my game is our time, and you have to balance, choro, Nepores, Uruguayans, or Kansas.
Like dinner to so balance. So one office, but those who football, talent, to 8 plus. If you go to my books, you in life, you don't balance as you my life, this is my life. I go be as a team, team so Charamba to push out team do top 4 and there's a visual, no doubt you go so each and every game to pass through as pour something to the team with Zirambe, you go to one or two team. Coach and I talk to him about how next or to 1 or 2 seconds push out my extras with it.
Coach Paul was naturally pleased with the team's win after their goalless draw away to Karori United last week.
The only message that I gave them at halftime was that they were playing very well. And to them coming into this game like the youngsters that are entrusted today, some had not played against our Premiership boys at the experienced Harare City. So at halftime I just told them that you are doing very well and you are able to match these guys and go all out in the second half and give me your best. And the second half will belong to them because I just let them do what they could do and we got the result. Yeah, it's very satisfying, very, very satisfying because considering that in the first half, Webster Dombo got two clear chances that you were supposed to bury, and you couldn't do that. And at halftime, I just encouraged him again to go again in the second half and try again to hit tight goal, and it paid dividends and he scored. Our target from the onset, even before the season started, we said that we wanted to try and finish in the top 4, and we started very badly, but of late we've been picking some points, and I hope we're going to work very hard to try and maintain the top 4 position, and for us to be satisfying to finish in the top 4.
In other fixtures, the Queens maintained their barnstorming start to the season with a 2-0 victory over Faith Drive, with the goals coming from their informed forwards Maud Mafuruse and Prainens Rawanda, who are now both in double digits already this season.
As we inaugurate this new premises or this new building, we are embarking on a new journey, all my fellow students. Herentals has been there providing quality education to us all students. As we know, we are celebrating our Silver Jubilee. This has shown a significance that Herentals has made 25 years of providing quality education. That's why it is still in running. We want to thank you all that have worked hard for the past 25 years to provide this education that we did not expect. We thank you.
Parents, guardians, teachers, and all my fellow students.
My name is Lindsay Nota, and they are my colleagues.
My name is Pilania Matsmanga.
My name is Nadine Mandel.
We are all grade 5 learners. We are here to recite our poem titled, Who Am I?
Tears of joy running down my cheeks. Oh wait, I can't believe my eyes. Welcome to Herentals, where we rise, and rise. Take a sip from a pool, you won't think twice.
Just about 2 decades ago, just a little girl, I was so little in the eyes of many. But look at me now, 25 is the story.
Here am I, celebrating Silver Jubilee, 25 years of progress and prosperity. Knowledge and wisdom lingers in my veins. Come join me and let us rise.
Oh, dear friends, dear parents, dear Zimbabwe, with Herentals, you rise and rise and rise.
May we kindly move towards that area written reception there, where there's the ribbon. May you kindly move towards that. Our SMC, our regional heads, may we join them. Our heads, may we join. Our teachers, may we join. Also our parents, our esteemed parents, may you also join and witness the official opening of Herentals Private School in Hatfield.
Champions believe in themselves.
Tinowane kutenda kwakanyanyisa chaizvo kune Herentals Group of Schools. Tisingakanganwi our revered scholar, our hero, Professor D Benza, for leading a team that has been able to get us this far. Tinostenda, we don't take anything here for granted. We don't take anything for granted. tichakuremembai pane zvose. Tichafamba tese kosvika tisvike patinosvika. Tichivhura masenders all over.
The birth of Herentals Hatfield as a new branch is indeed a materialization, a fulfillment of our vision for 2023, that is celebration, construction, and growth. And indeed, the birth of this center today is a testimony of the fulfillment of that theme. We are indeed very grateful to our partners in business, FBC Bank, for their presence and that partnership, which has seen the birth of this center today.
On the Spotlight this week, we get insight into the experience of the team's physiotherapist, Tafadzwa Nicole Chikasha, who shares with us her journey in sport and her role within the Herentals team.
So throughout my career, I have been involved in sports such as being a physio for rugby, cricket, netball, but mainly I think where I really wanted to work in is soccer. And it comes from the fact that I usually used to see football teams, you know, the big teams such as Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea, and I was always motivated, primarily because I saw this woman physio doctor called Eva, and she was my inspiration that if a woman could work at a team such as Chelsea, I could also work in this industry. So I got motivated to work for Herentals Football Club, seeing such a woman working there. I'm responsible mainly for treating players on and off the field. So what I'm responsible for is treating their injuries, which consists of sports injuries that they get on the field. That may include like ankle injuries, knee injuries, concussions, or trauma injuries. The thing I enjoy the most is that I get to be part of a big entity like this, being part of Premier League. I think that has been one of my dreams when I actually manifested it in 2014 that I wanted to be part of a football team. Most of my friends know that I've always wanted to work in the sports industry, and I think this has been a great platform for me to actually be able to use my skills as a physio for Herentals football team. I think most of the things I got to learn them as time went on, and the management made it easier for me to learn and actually adapt to the situation much better. You would find that most people would not be happy with a female running inside the pitch. They were not used to the idea of a female physio. But as time went along, so many teams got to know me, and they got to actually express their respect for me being in the sport, and also respecting my professionalism in the sport. I think that's what has made me come so far, my professionalism and my work ethic.
My name is Dr. Banga, and I'm the Herentals team doctor. I've been working with Herentals, I think this is 2 years now, since 2011. So yeah, that's my experience in the club. Well, I think the team, the medical field, it's It's one of those important fields that are very important in any organization. So when we incorporated it, or when it's incorporated in sport, it makes a vital role, since most of our players, they have some problems that need attention. Some of them, they might be physical, some they might be mental and emotional, and we try to address them to the best of our abilities. Well, football is an emotional sport. Sometimes a player really wants to showcase their talent. They really want to be in the game, to contribute into the game. So then have to assess if the player can go on, and if the player cannot go on. But we always try to make decisions which are on the best interest of the player. So if we see that the player cannot go on, even if they want, we are forced to take them off. I think our medical team, we are really good in terms of our communication and professionalism. So I think everything is okay when it comes to our medical team. We have a lot of people who are concerned. Our management and our executive are also concerned on player welfare. So every time we have a problem, we just communicate to the relevant channels and we get a response in an instant.
An action-packed week comes to an end as the students carry on the fight across all fronts with lessons and milestones all picked up. That is all for now. Join us again on the next episode of the Herentals Football Show, and thank you for watching.
Ha 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 ha.